Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack. We also have,
Alvin Ellis ready to rock.
well, at the New York Comic Con, they had a DC All In Absolute Universe panel, and they had a lot of stuff in there. And as we go through, they had a lot of talent. They had Scott Snyder, Nick the Gata. They're the team from the what's the name, Batman, Absolute Batman, Tom King and Daniels. I'm not sure what's up here. I'm not sure what they're doing. I know that Joshua Williamson and Dan Moore are doing Superman. Jeff Lemire and Nick Robles. I'm not sure what they're doing. Jason Aaron's there. Was it Jeremy Adams? Al Ewing from Marvel, Clayton Henry, and Hayden Sherman. So the first thing they talk about is Martian Manhunter. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Not digging it.
And they've softened the John Jones part of him, a little more like John Constantine. It's kind of real funky looking Martian
John something.
Manhunter, huh?
It looks like John something.
So
Supposed to
we
be a
got.
cop. Does he have on like those old fashioned, what is it, those saddle shoes?
Oh my God! I didn't even look at those shoes. Good Lord!
What kind of gun is that he's got? What is this?
it was the nuttiest thing to see in the doctor with
Nah, I'm not with it. Yeah,
clogs
I'm not
on.
with it. I'm not with it. This is just weird. I'm not with it.
All right, cool. So we got that. We got something from Aquaman's coming back with Jeremy Adams. They're gonna do getting a little some new powers. Looks like he got a water sword. Not sure how that works, but and we also get the Fractured Lanterns by the same writer. Um, you got John Ridley. Obviously, he's co-writing Justice League the Atom Project, so it's connecting Captain Atom and it looked like the Atom from the TV show and another Atom. So, any of this catching your eye? The Aquaman, the Fractured
Hell,
Lanterns. Okay, I asked the wrong question. Okay, wait a second. Now we got you. The Superman Lex Luthor special. What do you think of that?
I think that's a waste of time.
The picture looks all right. You think it's gonna be a waste of time? Why?
Because Lex Luthor is a villain, okay? And he's not There are only a handful of villains, maybe not even a handful, who can support like their own title or a different direction, okay, exclusive of being this person's nemesis. A lot of cats just can't do that. Magneto can do it. Doctor Doom can do it. For strange reason, the Joker is able to do it. Okay, but Lex Luthor works best as an adversary for Superman. If you want to, now they want to say, well, he's lost his memory and this, that, and they keep trying to flirt with making Luthor a good guy, and that may happen like well off in the distance.
Hmm.
Okay, well off in the distance, of things. But right now, no. I'm still very much Bronze Age when it comes to Luthor. Luthor has a deep seated, not resentment, but hatred for Superman. Okay? He doesn't want to see Superman humbled or humiliated. He wants him dead. So now when you're doing these types of stories, I'm like, what is the point of this? Okay, they keep wanting to flirt around with. I mean, this goes back to Smallville, where they wanted to flirt with Luthor being misunderstood, maybe misguided, but there's good in him. There's this that. I'm like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? That was never the case with this character over his long history. And when they do stuff like this, they keep trying to like really like dance with it. Let's see where we can go with it. I'm like, no, how about we just get some good Lex Luthor stories where he's Superman's adversary, as opposed to like, oh no, we need a secret from Lex Luthor, but if we do, he may remember just how evil he is. Oh, whatever shall we do? He's gonna be evil. That's gonna be the end result. So why are we wasting our time with this?
Okay. It seems like the grill is hot right now.
Piping hot.
Well, I can't really say much besides the picture of Luther looks pretty good. So, going forward, we have some art from the All Star Batman issue 2. We got a new tank, as if the Dark Knight didn't have a tank. It just feels like we're getting a real future world Dark Knight. going on here, but not a Batman that's old. We're not getting a Batman that don't got no money, because I don't know how he gets all these cool toys if he ain't got no money. So he clearly got some sort of backing. He's just possibly not a millionaire. We get a little bit of art from Wonder Woman. She looks like it has a little too much armor and a real funky way of getting around town. It's look nowhere near invisible. Any thoughts
So,
on any of those things before we get to Superman? Because I want to talk
well,
about
since
that. But
well, since Wonder Woman is, flying around on this what is it, this ghost unicorn or this ghost griffin? So I guess that means she can't fly in this universe.
guess not. Yeah, it's a little. I don't know though. I
What
think
what is he riding on? Is that like a griffin? I know unicorns can have faces.
I know what you're saying with the Griffin. I didn't want to go there because it's like a horse. It's like
Like
a
the invisible.
Pegasus, but a dead one. That's the
Oh,
best
oh,
way.
so, okay. So instead of the invisible jet, she's got the invisible Pegasus.
The skeleton Pegasus, but somehow the wings aren't skeleton. Not just because obviously you couldn't fly if the wings were just a skeleton. So we had to put some feathers on it. It's a little real funky thing. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, if you look at the Dark Knight. Well, sorry, I said the Cole, absolute Batman, the Dark Knight. You look at the Dark Knight, like this is just giving you some the beefy Batman, and this is saying we need to add some more kind of armor to kind of get you a feel of some sort of Greek thing. But at the same time, you look at 300, that makes more makes sense to kind of just say, hey, we're in a comic book, like remove all this stuff,
It's
kind of.
lazy.
Hmm?
It's lazy. It's
Yeah.
all they're doing is all the what is it? These are all the quick hits that everybody's choosing the Batman for. Okay, everybody loved the fact that he was like really beefed up for Dark Knight. Let's beef him up even more. Okay, let's obscure. We're gonna obscure his face, make him look more freak, look more freaky. Give him a tank, more armor. Is it even a bat on his chest? So when I look at this stuff, it's just like whatever. I the premise again for what they're going for, and I like the premise.
Hmm.
Okay, a premise where good is really on the run. Okay, good is really on the run, and evil is the norm. And so, what are these guys going to have to do? Now, I find that to be that's a hard one to pull off. Okay, because that means the majority of the people are going to tack towards evil. So you're not going to. This is going to be very, very difficult. Meaning that you're going to be saving people. Okay, who uh, not like in our world where okay, I may get sued. These are people who like literally might try to take you out for it if that's what the barometer for this universe is. So since that's the case, and I'm looking at a character like Batman, I'm like, okay, let's see, it lends to a character like Batman. But then in the same breath, I'm like, well, how's he going to be effective? Because he's already supposed to be one guy trying to clean up an entire city, and that's supposed to be a pretty big task for him. So now I'm coming into this, but a lot of this just like, hey, I've seen this before, and I think probably the best thing they did was to get Scott Snyder on it. So at the very least, you have some name recognition with the author, and maybe he does have some more to say regarding Batman. Maybe I'm not 100% certain, but at the very least, you have somebody like proven that he does understand the character, can turn in some good, some good tales, some stuff that's adventure, some stuff that's really out there. But otherwise, I mean, this isn't really we haven't seen. This isn't what we haven't seen before, and they're just giving what they like. This is what a Batman fan likes, and it's on steroids.
All right, so we go into the absolute Superman. Now, I didn't know that his what's the forearms would have some sort of effect, and his calves would have some sort of effect on them. So that I mean, outside of the
Those
problem
are
I have with this, huh?
those are like the greaves and the bracers
Okay.
are supposed to help regulate his powers because he doesn't have full control over them for
Oh,
whatever reason.
so
Why? Because that makes him dangerous, right?
well,
Dangerous. You don't know if he's going to explode.
I was thinking as sort of a costume thing, even though it doesn't necessarily work for the Superman classic costume, which just works. I thought it was something interesting. The only problem I have with this is that he looks like the guy from Cobra Kai, like an adult version, like a 20
Which
year old,
which one?
the Miguel. Like it.
Okay.
That's the vibe I get from this,
You
and
know
that's
what? You
the
put a little
vibe,
bit more weight on the kid. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and
he's
that's
definitely got the hair.
yeah. So that's the vibe I don't want for my for my Superman. I like Miguel. I don't want that vibe for him. So, but now with Batman doing so well, the absolute line is on a little bit of a high. So they're introducing and showing you just a tiny bit, but this kind of what was it? Is this? They're supposed to be like peacemakers. That's what all these guys are. This is the new. Their
Yeah,
alternate
and again,
universe.
this is lazy because we would instead of peacemakers, what would we would have had like 15, 10, 15 years ago? These would have been manhunters or Omax, or
Dude,
who are the other guy? I can't remember who the other guys are. But these are just like the new version of them. Like the peacemakers becomes like the core. Or, no, no, well, it's the one man army corps, so that wouldn't be correct. Let me just forget trying to get to it. But it's the same thing where, okay, let's just, make a plethora of these guys and call them a fight. I'm like, no, no, this is not what these guys are supposed to be here doing.
yeah, I think it would. I think it's not absolute related, but I think they missed the mark not doing well, at least animated, no, a real deal Manhunter series with the OA stuff. I'm not sure if they've done anything animated with the Manhunters or in the. I'm not fully knowledgeable on the Justice League Unlimited, but if they did, I hope they did it well because I think that was one of the not the actual miniseries isn't that because they had those wacky new Guardians in there, but the Manhunters and what they were doing and just taking over some person in the group. Those it was some interesting stuff, but I'd rather have Manhunters here than the Peacemakers, and I don't know. But anyway, let's keep going. Now we get into some stuff that looks okay. The JSA, Jeff Lemire is doing the JSA. JSA has been kind of like DC's book that they've done for for a while. That's been fun. There's been, I think, the late '90s, kind of been the what was it James Robinson, and then Jeff Johns, and a few other people have been in that stable of trying to make making bringing these guys back and being mainstays in the DC universe. But at the same, and they, I think Jeff Johnson had done it recently. So we have that. You have Absolute Flash. A new Flash is coming on there. Usually, whatever they do with Flash, outside the one that Stan Lee did, or when I think it was it the Porter guy who was at used to do Justice League. Um, Most of the guys somehow become bigger from doing Flash. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but it's kind of hard to do something which it just a lot of effects with the speed. But the thing that caught me in the past was Stan Lee's Flash because who's the name? Kevin McGuire's outfit was just really cool. But anyway, and we also have who's this other on the other side of it? I'm not sure who those guys are, but I know we have the Absolute Flash, we have the JSA, and any thoughts on that before we get to the new gods?
No, we're gonna get to the new guys.
All right, so then we're back to the new gods. We got the cover looks normal, but the insides will look a little newfangled for the new gods. But they're trying to update them. I can't say that I'm with it, but maybe since people have liked what Tom King did on his run of Mr. Miracle, maybe a new touch will be something for the new guys. What are your thoughts?
If you like what Tom King did on Mr. Miracle, you'll really like what Grant Morrison did on Mr. Miracle before Tom King, since it was pretty much the same story.
But they did. What's the name? Wasn't he with more using Shiloh? Wasn't he using the black character in that?
Yeah, he's Gyro Norman, but same story.
Okay, cool. I didn't know. Thanks.
Without. I mean, if you've read both,
Hmm.
it's impossible not to see the parallel. So
Oh, all right, cool. Now we're getting to some. Hey,
let me say that's not a slight.
what of
That is,
Tom King?
That's not a slight against Tom King, Orange Run, or Mr. Miracle. Okay. But okay, I'm saying, look, if you enjoyed that one, it's going to be very hard for you not to enjoy this one.
All right, cool. We're getting what would be, something close to what we've seen with Metamorpho, just not as, I don't know, not as good as obviously the classic one, but we got some newfangled art for it and a little handsomer Metamorpho coming back, and Al Ewing is doing what what you should do. You coming into to DC, show your worth, make something out of this. And he's doing Green Lantern Corps. I'm wondering, is this the character? I'm not sure if this is it the character from the Outer Realm that's in this Green Lantern Corps. I'm not sure who it is. And Spike Lee on the bottom of the picture. Who knows? And we mentioned Tom King, and he's building up to the birth of Trinity. And who is this? It looks like the Cassie Sandsmark, but I'm not sure. But it's his ongoing series. Oh, Tony Daniels is no, that's Dan. Sorry, it's not Tony Daniels. That's this new Daniel St. Pierre guy. He's doing the Wonder Woman and the Birth of Trinity. So it's some more Tom King. We talked about him. He's sticking it with Wonder Woman. We did a review on it. Obviously, we haven't gone back to it. So good luck to him and what he's trying to do. I don't know what to say. We kind of torched it. So, but this Justice League here. Now, I think they're trying to run Dan Moore a little thin, but he seems like he should be the guy doing the Justice League. But I also know he's doing some Superman stuff. So, huh?
No, I said for me, Dan Moore for me is like Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, where the stuff that he does it just reminds me of it's like the perfect look for DC.
Yeah. So we have him doing this All In book, and then he's also doing this Superman and Superwoman and many deaths of Doomsday going on. So he's got a lot on his plate. Don't spread him too thin, because we do that, we're going to get a lot of fill-ins. And, Jeff Johns almost killed the fill-ins by deciding that, hey, we're not going to do fill-ins. We're just going to not put the book out because you don't want to do that. And that's ultimately what's killed many a book. So, but I'm glad to see him, spreading his wings at DC and doing a lot of Superman stuff. Like our first thing was seeing Superman get shot, and despite the action happening in it, the art itself was pretty good. So, the Superwoman is kind of, they've been using that modified outfit that Frank Miller gave Supergirl a lot now, but it's working out for him. And then we have Action Comics with Wade and Clayton Henry. So, have you been reading this? Have you already seen this? Oh, Mark Wade isn't on it yet, right? So, what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's out. I actually got I got through the first issue.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay. But it's weekly.
Oh, it's weekly. Good Lord.
Yeah, no, it's weekly. So that was actually a challenge because I didn't realize how far along they got. Because I pre-ordered my books, so the solicitations are already as far as like Action Comics 1082.
Good Lord.
And I think the current issue is like 1071 or 72. So it's like really, I mean, they've really put, it's going to be a longer storyline, but it's weekly. I guess they're, trying to make the run to Action Comics 1100 and get it done before, by the time there's some anniversary or what have you. The first issue was okay. He does some stuff in there. I've had enough with Superman just being a guy from Kansas. And, they want to talk about Superman being afraid or he's frightened. I'm like, look, if Superman's afraid or frightened, it doesn't really work for me in terms of the character, because this guy is supposed to register hope in everyone else. So if he's scared, I guess it's all over for us, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, I think it was that bit Wonder Woman was kind of fighting the fake doomsday, where Superman's on, obviously gateway cities. Who knows how far away it is? And they're like, "Hey, Doomsday's fighting Wonder Woman." He's in Kansas. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get going." And his mother like, "No, but you got." He's like, "No, I gotta go anyway. It don't matter if I could. If Doomsday's out there, I'm gonna go." And that's kind of the approach. When you kind of do a story where you kind of see him being. I don't know how they're presenting it, but it's kind of tough to do when you show him. He's kind of a person who'll go into
But
the
it's
fray no matter what.
the story's involving the Phantom Zone, and it's not that he says it, but they're trying to give him a moment with Lois Lane, and he's like, "I can see that you're afraid or frightened about what may happen," and I'm like, "You guys got to go back." And I don't think sometimes I wonder, do you guys understand the dynamic between a husband and a wife? And do you understand what Superman is supposed to represent? Because if he looks like he's afraid and she needs to reassure him, we're on the wrong path with this story. They run the wrong path. And they just did it recently in another situation where his powers are fluctuating and, he's trying to reassure her and she doesn't need any reassurance because she's like, no, I've been through this before and I know you always come back. So just do what you got to do and I'll see you on the other side. That's really what we're supposed to get.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to get the other thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to come over here and be a big cheer. I'm going to reassure you. Like, no, he doesn't need that. This guy's been through enough stuff. We just need to see him get off to the races and get involved with the story. And those type of things, those moments take me out of the story more than they do anything else. But they really want to try to portray him as this, just a regular Joe. And I'm like, that's kind of hard when he's not even a Joe. So
Mm. So there we go. We got through all of the stuff for the DC All In. We are not seeing too many signs of what's gonna the culmination of this, but expect the connection between the absolute stuff, the all in stuff, the two different universes clashing together in a big way. But I'm not sure that if this is a dark side universe, he would give us this funky looking Martian Manhunter. Because I don't know what that is supposed to be in relation to Kirby, but
rainbow bright look. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So that's about it. Uh,
They're saying that they wanted to give the Martian Manhunter a Kirby-esque look, and that's it.
well, I think it's connected to the universe itself. The absolute universe itself is connected to Kirby, and it feels like we're just throwing that out. Like we just like the idea of saying Darkseid created this universe, but
Well,
now,
if it's connected to Darkseid, then by extension, it's going to be connected to Kirby since Kirby creates Darkseid. I get all of that, but
yeah,
I can't see Kirby creating that Martian Manhunter.
basically, when you're looking at it and thinking it's all fantastical in the first picture, then you look in the second picture, it's like I'm Gumby, damn it. So anyway, all right. So please subscribe. Let us know your thoughts or the titles that you want to check out, and of course, if you really want us to review it, we got no choice. We got to review it if you ask. All right, spin the rack.
We're out.
We're out.